Good morning, universe. I hope you are doing well. I said I was going to do that every time I started saying the word And if this is the first video you've ever seen, then I just look completely out of my mind. So, I decided to do the 15 minutes early this morning. Because I have been accomplishing a lot. It's around 8 o'clock here, and I've been up since about 4:30 a.m. and got my team off to load the machines for my work, and submitted or tried to submit a report several times to the state because I'm a state contractor and had issues with their online forms. So, fast forward, finally sent it to one of my contacts there. And then I was looking into what's going on in entertainment right now. And I saw that in addition to the internship, which has been out for a week now, today they released a movie called This Is the End, which is basically about the apocalypse. It has James Franco, Jonas Hill, and they're playing, a comic variation of themselves in it. And it's about how they deal with the apocalypse. So I'm thinking about seeing that today. Possibly even a double feature, depending on how well things go. Once my crew gets back and we're loaded, and if there's time. The movies don't start until about 2 p.m. So it gives me time to accomplish other things or to sort of rest. Excuse me. Because for some reason, if I don't rest before I go see double features or spend 4 hours in a movie theater, I get very tired. And the primary reason is I don't sit still very well. I have had DirecTV installed here in the condo for a month and a half, and I've watched a total of maybe 5 hours since I've had it, and that was in the first week, and then I was sort of over it. Most of the stuff I watch on Netflix or something like that. That's just my pattern. So let's see here. I didn't even set my 15 minutes, so let's see. Who look at here? Set an alarm for 12 minutes from now. Set an alarm for 12 minutes from. Okay. Alright, so I have an alarm set. Since I've been rambling for about 3. And I will try to wrap it up right at the time the buzzer goes off. But anyway, so I'm thinking whether or not I should keep DirecTV. The challenge is, if you've never had DirecTV, if you go to an average cable subscriber, at least in Texas, I can't speak for other states, but what happens is, if you have a normal cable provider, you can usually pick up the service, and if you decide to cancel 2 months later, whatever, you just have to return the equipment, and there's no penalty. It's just over. With DirecTV and satellite, you have to commit to, I think there's DirecTV and Dish Network, right? And I don't know about Dish Network, but with DirecTV, they give you a 2-year contract. You're required to make a 2-year commitment. And if you cancel beforehand, you have to pay a $20 per month penalty for every month you did not use. So essentially I'd be paying around $440 plus the 2 months that I've already had it, essentially. And I haven't even gotten a bill for the first month. So there you go. So I'm still waiting on that and contemplating whether I want to do it or not. I wanted to keep it, and the reason I really got it was so that I could do reviews of shows like Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead and some of my other favorite shows. The challenge is, though, that Game of Thrones is over for the summer, Revenge is over for the summer, Walking Dead's over till the fall. Excuse me, so there's really not much of a point unless I pick up some other shows. And most of the time the stuff I find, I've said before, I find on Amazon or Hulu or Netflix, and that only costs me $24 a month. Well, Amazon overall, basically. This is about $8 a month. You pay like $80 a year for Prime, but the point is, I get all of that for less than half of what DirecTV would cost me. So I'm starting to wonder why I even signed up for this thing. I think I had good intentions, but I noticed that I just can't sit still. So I probably shouldn't keep it. And it's better to spend the better part of $500 now to discontinue the service than to maintain it for 2 years and spend over $2,000, because that's essentially what it would cost. So that's pretty much where my decision process is. There's another facility that's almost twice as large as the one I currently have that's available that I can bid on, so I could make more money and point it towards the things, or invest it towards the things I really want to be doing, like a short film, traveling to a couple of places. I have not completely decided, because while it's more money, I have to keep in mind some other aspects, like my vehicle. Because while I have 2 vehicles, the one I primarily have used for my business is an Expedition. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but the average time that or distance you drive a car in a year is 15,000 miles. Well, this car was used when I got it, and it was 88,000 on it. Now it's hovering around 147, and will probably be in 147 by the time July hits, which would be the 3-year anniversary of when I bought the car. So essentially I've gone the better part of 20,000 miles per year in the car. And as it's already so high, or rather in the mid 100,000s at this point, the car has been great, but its lifespan is starting to run out, I think. Either the shocks need to be replaced, or the suspension is starting to wear. And so I'm thinking by the end of the year, I'm going to have to sell it or trade it in. The challenge that occurs is if I take on this other job, I obviously have to trade it in and find a new car, which means another car payment. And I have been trying my damnedest to clear all my debt out of the way. I will pay off my truck, my GMC, by the end of the year, and then essentially I'd have no more car payments. I would level out my debt all completely across the board, all my tax bills. So I would be pretty much balanced out and just start paying, my my quarterlies, and everything else is savings. However, if I pick up a new car, it's probably going to be a $300 to $400 a month car payment, which wouldn't be that bad, but I'd rather have none. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, if I'm going to pursue this new facility or not. And obviously, my ultimate goal is to be doing YouTube or just be working in the media field again. So I'm not sure if it's right for me to take on another facility if I don't plan on staying for the long-term future. Supposedly this is the second or third highest earning facility in the Houston area. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So how have you been? What have you been doing? Like I said, I don't care if it's tomorrow or 3 years from the time this video was being made. You should make a response video. I pay pretty close attention to the responses that are posted on this channel. And I would like to believe, beg your pardon, that I will always pay fairly close attention to what's going on here. So, if you want to post a video response or post a comment, I observe them. I listen, and in most cases I'll try to respond. So there's that. Man of Steel comes out this week too. I'd like to see Man of Steel. It's supposedly, the funny thing about this movie is the promotions deals, the publicity deals, the advertising deals that they have associated with it have already supposedly matched the expense costs, or the production costs for making it. Which means that if that's the case, minus any advertising costs they're not mentioning or whatever, the movie, by the time it hits the theaters, could literally be nothing but profit. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but normally what happens with a movie theater is concessions, and this is why concessions are so expensive, because when a movie goes into a theater, every dollar that the movie makes goes back to the studio. Concessions belong to the movie theater. That's why your candy is so high. Your sodas are $4.50 for a 32-ounce drink. It's because, well, it only costs them a quarter to 50 cents, depending, to make a soda for you. It costs them tremendous amounts in overhead, and that's what your concession, our concessions money is paying for. So that's why your concessions are so expensive. I had to say your concessions because I don't go to the movies as often as I used to. I'm trying to get back to them more often. So that's where our money goes, with concessions. And that's why studios make so much money off of a movie. Because every dollar, basically if a movie theater almost bids to get a copy of the movie, depending on how many are distributed in their area. And then that's how they draw people in to buy concessions and such when they see the movie. And that's where they make their money. And they renovate their theaters to make it more comfortable for you so you can see it. So there you go. A little 101 on movie theater patronage. So, I'd like to see Man of Steel. I watched the Shaytards vlog. Shay Carl is one of the vloggers I watch the most because he's one of the most high energy and positive people out there. And he has a really good attitude. And ideally, I would love to have some semblance of that kind of a relationship and family. He's very dedicated to his family. Of course, I'm sure they have their issues. They show the positive side of things, though, as much as possible. Don't think they don't have fights or whatever, because everybody has a fight, right? The best part is that they're showing things that inspire you to have positive relationships. Appreciate that your kids are loud and proud. I don't think they try not to show them as being disrespectful, but they show that they're kids. And they're going to yell, and they're going to throw out energy because that's what kids do. And they're showing you to appreciate that. At least that's what they feel. Because the time will come when they won't be so full of energy and in awe of the world and of their own existence. Hopefully people will stay that way, but not always. So that's what the Shaytards show you. I sound like a mild stalker, but I'm not. I just appreciate the fact of what he shows in his vlogs, and I'd love to have some semblance of that relationship in the future with the right woman. So there it goes. Time's up for 15 minutes. Like I said, always, it goes really fast when I chat with you guys. So thank you, universe. Thank you, everyone who watches now or in the future. Take care of yourself, and I will see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Live with passion.